All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Get all the things in the proper places. Welcome, welcome, you guys. Super excited to have you guys here for our 1 day only. We are going to be going over a meeting or a training that we did at convention. And we got your guys' responses. We got all of that feedback, which we absolutely loved, and just told us that we needed to be here and we needed to do it again. So we are going to go through this training. We are going to be able to expand a little bit on some different things. Um, we will be able to take questions at the very end. Where do we find the recording later? I will definitely make sure that I am posting that recording out there for you. We'll definitely get that up for you. And then I'm sure just the way, as always, we share and spread the news. So the name of this training is We is Greater Than Me. I know many people probably haven't seen that symbol since high school, but We is Greater Than Me. Let's go ahead and get started.
What up, fam? How's everybody doing today? My name is Ashley Hollowell, or Ashley Hawaiian, as you will hear me referred to. I am a special needs mama. My oldest son, who is 8.5, is autistic. And when I was, in 2021, when we were trying to figure out, like, we didn't have a diagnosis, we didn't know what was going on, but I knew something was off, right? I needed a change that would allow me to stay home with them. He was going to daycare at the time, but it was almost daily that I was getting reports from the daycare like, hey, he's hitting, hey, we had this issue, right? Whatever. And so I knew that like that environment wasn't really good for him. So I needed a change, something I could do from home that gave my family some more options. So in February of 2021, I found this amazing opportunity. I decided to take that leap of faith, right? I still had a full-time job being a therapist, but I knew that if I did this and I made some extra income, then I could at least cut back my hours as a therapist. It wasn't until later on that I decided to make this full time. But in the beginning, it was more about let me try and make money over here so that I can cut back those hours so I can be more present with them, right? Within about 10 months of starting this business is when I left my counseling job and made this my full-time income. I ranked up to gold about a week after I quit. And then soon after that, I think it was a couple of months, I hit double gold. So for me, I focus a lot on mindset and learning from those who had what I wanted. Y'all, I will always be a big proponent of this. You will always hear me say this on any training that I do is that your sponsor does not determine your success, you do. You are in control of your success. If your sponsor is not teaching you, guiding you, not really involved, whatever, or maybe your sponsor left the business, right? They do not control your success. You can find other leaders, myself, Krista, Amy, Val, Sarah, like there are plenty of other leaders in this business and in this company that are here and willing to pour into you and guide you, right? And that's what was for me, that was my story. My sponsor who brought me into this did nothing. We had a training website. She would like tell me, oh, here's the next step to get through training. After that, it was crickets, right? In 2021, I attended convention for the very first time. I was 6 months into the business and I heard an amazing training by Coach Val who kicked my butt, right? Which is, she's very good at that. She still kicks my butt to this day. But she, in that training, she kicked my butt. She asked a question of, if you're not team building, what are you afraid of? And y'all, I sat there with that question. I sat with it the rest of the day, even into the next day. And I was really like looking inward to see like what was it that was holding me back. And basically it was fear, fear of failure, Even a little bit fear of success because it was like, well, I didn't have a good sponsor that showed me how to do this and be successful. Like, what if I turn out just like that? Right? Like, what if I'm not a good mentor? So I had to sit with that. And finally, I came to the realization of like, I have this fear of failure, but like I'm already failing because I'm not even starting. Right? Like I was sitting in this spot of not being successful and I was already failing because I wasn't even trying. So I decided on my way home to start team building. I posted about it. I put out job ads. I did all of this stuff. I started team building and I had no idea what I was doing. So what did I do? I went to my platinum, which is Christina Bertels. I went to her and I said, "Hey, I want a team build. I put this job ad out and I don't know what I'm doing." And so she poured into me. I also went to Amy Cabrera. I also went to Tommy Joe. I went to Val. I went to the people who had what I wanted, right? Those people that were platinum, those people that were 1 star, 2 star, whatever it may be. I went to the people who had what I wanted and I got on every training that they did. I asked questions. I went to them directly, whatever it may be. I went to those people. I took that initiative. Right? I didn't wait on somebody to come to me and be like, Ashley, this is what you should be doing. No, I wanted to move. So I went to those people. At the height of my team, I had over 1,000 agents. I think we had over like 13 or 1,400 at one time. And that is allowing me to help transform people's lives, right? I get to have a bigger impact because of those people on my team. Travel has become more than a passion. It is how I provide for my family. I shared this at convention in both the training, so I will be vulnerable and fully transparent here as well. In December of last year, my husband and I decided that we're getting divorced. Okay. We're going separate ways. So in December, I became a single mom. Y'all, it's because of this business that I'm able to still provide for me and my kids without having to go back into corporate America, without having to figure out, well, crap, I've been doing this for over 4 years and I haven't worked anywhere else. And like, what job do I get? How do I get them to school? How do I pick them up? How do I do this? Right? I don't have to do that because I built something here that is taking care of us. I put in the work up front. And when life lifed, right, and kind of fell apart a little bit, I had this business to stand on. Um, I have earned over 150,000 in residual income this year at convention. If you were there, you saw me get my 100K ring, which I have been wearing and love it. In 2024, I was also inducted into the Founders Council. For those of you that don't know, that is an elected position by David McCovey. He chooses people. We're kind of like his board of directors, right? And it is the highest honor that you can get in this company. Team building has given me a purpose. It's given me the ability to make a lasting impact. I get to help change other people's lives in a positive way, right? I have agents that come to me from my team all the time and they're like, Ashley, thank you so much for bringing people into this business, for, helping me to be successful. It has literally changed my life. One of my biggest agents that tells me that is Gigi Ivy. If you have joined her night class for Evo Plus, you hear her talk about it all the time. But because of this business, she's able to still work and provide good income for her family and has the ability to move to Mexico so that she doesn't have to deal with all of her health conditions, right? But it's because of this business. And it was because I decided to start team building, and that decision created a wave. It created a ripple and then a wave to help other people come in and have their lives changed. Go ahead, Boo.
All right. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Krista Wiley. I am a 1-star double platinum. I am a 4-time IATAN card holder. I am a 100K ring income earner. And most recently, I have added to my title a newly inducted Founder Council member. And as Ashley said, she kind of already went over that. And so a huge honor for me to have received that or been inducted. For me, it was pretty powerful. And this goes to my story, and I haven't added it to this yet. But I was inducted on a cruise ship. And as you guys all know, I am a huge cruiser. Some call me the cruising queen. And so it was super like just, things happen for reasons, and it was on a cruise ship. But more importantly, 2 out of the 3 of my kids were there. And I think something that we don't pay attention to enough in this business is that our kids are watching, right? Our kids are always watching. And so, although I did not physically look at them at the time, I've now gone back and watched video, and they are screaming and they are jumping up and down, right? My kids and my husband, very much a part of this business. And for them to be there, for them to witness that, one of my best friends, who's also happens to be our roommate, she was there, right? And so she's had a firsthand view of what I've been doing for the last 5.5 years. And for her to be like, gosh, Krista, like I see you pulling these hours and I see you doing all of these things. But for her to actually be in the room to see that, like that made it even bigger, right? And so I love the fact that it happens then, right? I love that they were able to see all of those things. And it just goes to show you guys, when you're pulling those late nights, booking travel, when you're pulling those late nights, helping your team and your mentors, like people are watching, always, always watching. So just be mindful of that, and not in a bad way. It's a good thing, right? So a little bit about me, you guys. I was actually a paramedic for 15 years, and I ended up suffering what I didn't realize at the time, a pretty significant back injury. I actually tore a disc in my lower back. And unfortunately, that happened about a month before the pandemic. And so what ended up happening was the pandemic hit. And if you guys all remember, doctors' offices and everything closed. And so I was all but forgotten in the system. And so I was just kind of sitting around, what am I going to do? I'd always wanted to get into the travel industry. And so I really started just rethinking my path, right? I don't know what's going to happen with this back injury, but I'm not getting any better. I've always loved travel. Why not give myself something to do while I'm home recovering? Because at that point, I did think I was going to go back on the ambulance. But I was medically retired, forced me to rethink that path. In 2020 is when I joined. February 28th of 2020. I joined Archer and Evolution. And you guys, I quietly built my travel business part-time because, again, I wasn't really sure. I was, on disability. Like, I just was like, I'm just going to take this time to soak it up. I was just going to do this as a hobby. We love traveling. I wanted to save money. Booking, I wanted to save money booking our own travel. I wanted those tax write-offs. I wanted all of those things. I never thought when I got started that this was going to turn into what it is today. And so, I always tell people this was my plan B. I had no idea that it was going to be my plan B, but I'm glad that I had it. And so one of the things that I tell people is that you may not need this business right now, but eventually your business is going to need you, right? Like, if one someday, cross my heart, hope to, like, you are going to need this business. And so it's always take lead from me, work this business and get this business to a sustainable spot when you don't need it. Because so many times I've seen agents who have lost jobs or have gotten injured or, similar to Ashley, have gone through divorces. And now they're suddenly like, where am I? What am I going to do? Right. And if you hadn't just been sitting on this golden egg and you had actually been making it work, then you wouldn't be panicked. Right. And so you may be sitting there saying, well, I don't really need this business to be a full-time income. You guys treat it as if you do, because I promise you someday you are either going to need it, because you don't get to control whether you keep your 9 to 5, right? You don't know when your body's going to give out. You don't know when maybe somebody in your family gets a terminal illness and you're the one who, I don't know, pulls the straw that ends up being the one that takes care of them. You don't know, right? I always say the only person that knows the plan is God. And right now I'm just working in his path and his plan. So work this as if you do need it. By 2021, I ranked up to gold, all because I stayed consistent and leaned into mindset. You guys, I did not, and you guys will hear this time and time again, I did not hit my gold with a job board. I hit my gold and my double gold utilizing Facebook, right? I every single day, and I'll never forget, which is why it was so impactful that Tish was there and my husband and everybody, is because I remember they'd be like, man, you're sitting there, you're eating dinner while you're working. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was working, right? I was always eating while I was working. And, for them, they're like, man, that's a lot of work. Why would you do that? And then once, I hit top income earners, once I'm now making a considerable amount of money a month, they're like, oh, that makes sense, right? And so I had the vision before the pay came, right? And so I lost where I was at. I ranked up to gold all because I stayed consistent and leaned into mindset, mentorship, and momentum. You guys don't slow down. We have a saying, once you push the gas pedal, you just got to keep pushing it. Once you take your foot off the gas pedal, that's when that's where the negative mindset and things start coming in. Since then, I've mentored at the height of my team's 750 agents. I've earned over $230,000 in residual income, and I have become a 4-time IATAN card holder. You guys, I truly believe that goals are important. My goal was to hit IATAN first. I think I actually hit IATAN and gold in the same exact month, but that was something I was like, I want to be an IATAN card holder, and then everything else was going to follow after that. Travel isn't just my passion. It's absolutely my business. When I do the presentations, right, I talk about traveling. I talk about, the fact that I used to be somebody who did, I was a tax income or tax return traveler. This is also my community, right? It has gotten me through a lot of things. That we don't really need to get into now, but this community has really dived or has been there for me when other people weren't. Team building gave me more than an income. It gave me a purpose and freedom. I came from a background of helping people. And so now I just help people in a different way. And I save lives, not on an ambulance, but I save lives now through them building their own business and financial freedom. All right.
All right. We is greater than me always. For your goals, for your team. We grow faster when we grow together. One person sharing the opportunity makes a ripple. A team sharing the opportunity creates a wave. A movement of agents working together, that's how we change lives by the thousands. This isn't just your business, it's our legacy. When we all commit to showing up, inviting others, and sharing what's possible, every team wins. Every leader rises, every dream gets closer. Team building isn't about chasing numbers, it's about multiplying impact. It's about creating momentum that lifts everyone higher. It's about making sure no one misses out on this opportunity because we stayed silent. If you love what this business has done for you, share it. If you believe in what we're building, invite others. If you want to go far, don't go alone. Because when one of us wins, we all win. And when we lock arms with purpose, there is nothing we can't achieve. Y'all, there is, if you know who Eric Thomas is, my guy, he is the hip hop preacher, super motivational speaker, right? He's phenomenal. He says, it's cool to make $1 million, but go help 3 other people make $1 million. That's real success, right? Like it's cool for you to make $1 million. But think about the impact you would have if you made 3 other people millionaires, right? Like that's the type of mentality that we have with team building here. People over profits. We are in this together. That is why we named this We is Greater Than Me, right? Because alone, I can only do so much. But when I pour into others and others pour into me, we create this momentum, this ripple effect that turns into like a tidal wave, right? And we're able to go farther because we're walking together. Think about if you are, working out, or let's say you're going for a long run, right? If you're by yourself, sometimes it's kind of hard to push yourself that extra mile, right? You get tired and it's a lot easier to quit because there's nobody there to see it, right? You're by yourself. But get a running buddy, and now all of a sudden you go farther because you guys are challenging each other, right? There's accountability there. So when you have that partner or multiple people that you're running with, it holds you accountable and it helps you to go farther than you would on your own. I know for me, I call them my inner circle, right? There's a number of people that are in my inner circle because they hold me accountable. Val, for one, is one that's like, yo, she has told me this so many times. I'm not going to clap for something you should have already been doing. That's what she told me. And for some people, that may sound harsh, right? Like some people are like, dang, that's rude. But it's not. It's her holding me accountable to not settle for something that I should have already been doing, right? It's her holding me accountable to continue to improve, to continue to do better. She's not going to clap when I do something that I've known how to do for years, right? That's her pushing me to go to that next level. And I love it. I hold on to that all the time, right? And I'm going to tell my people that if you should have been doing it all along, I'm not clapping for that. I need you to level up. I need you to do better. I need you to continue to try and strive for that next level, right? That is what it is about we is greater than me. You have those accountability partners. You have those people that are going to push you to continue to level up like that. Go ahead, Boo.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's start getting into the meats and the potatoes. We are going to take you guys on an emotional roller coaster today, but now we're going to talk about the money, right? And this is something, if you guys have ever heard our founder, he talks about sometimes, I know you've heard some of our leaders say this, right? Make a thing pay for a thing. And in the beginning, it's about making team building pay for certain things. And so what I've done, or what we've done in this, is that we are going to break down these different rank levels and what does that equate to you, right? And so I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to have you guys put in the chat box. I'm not going to be able to read them all because it's going to go really fast, but get your fingers ready, right? So executive, you guys, that is 3 people. That's 3 agents that you bring into the business. Now, obviously, there's not much else we can do with that other than a huge thing, which is mitigate our monthly. Every other month, there's going to be money that gets deposited into your e-wallet, and every other month is going to pay for your monthly, right? That's huge, right? So now we're going to move into bronze. Bronze is 6. You guys, I challenge every single person in this company to hit bronze. Even if you're not interested in hitting gold, you're not interested in hitting platinum, there is not a reason in the world why every single person in this company should not be at least bronze. I jokingly say that if my landlord told me run 10 times around my house every single day and I would get a deduction or a reduced amount on my rent, there's 2 things that would happen. 1, I'd be paying less rent, and 2, I'd be skinnier. Because if you give me the ability to eliminate a bill or get a discount or pay less, right, you should absolutely be doing it. Doesn't matter if you're not looking to be the big of the big. Everyone should be at least at that level, right? But here's the thing, at bronze, you're going to eliminate your monthly and you're still going to have some extra. So what would you guys do with that extra, right? Let's actually quantify. Let's actually put it down. If you don't put it in the chat, put it on your paper. What would you do? Let's assign that number to something. What would you do with that extra almost $30 a month, right? What would you do with it? Put it on your paper like, hey, I'm going to hit bronze because I want to eliminate my monthly and I want to, I don't know, go to lunch. Maybe get your toes done. I don't know. Maybe you just take the $30 and you put it in a savings account, right? Maybe you do what a lot of us do and you just leave it in your e-wallet and let it accrue, right? Y'all, that money stacks and you can hold. Yep, absolutely. Silver, right? Silver is 9, right? This is where you're going to bring in 9 because I always tell people don't ever stay at just bronze. You want to make sure that you pad that, right? So silver, that's 139, and these are averages. I just put our last payout, what that looked like. Silver is $139.07. That's going to eliminate your monthly and get you a tank of gas. Now, again, I keep it in my e-wallet. I know that there are some other people who they pull everything out of their e-wallet every month, right? So what would what's that, 90, 50, right? What would an extra $50 a month do for you? Maybe you're somebody who's going to keep it in the e-wallet. And so if you keep, let's say you guys stay silver, you never go beyond silver, what's 50 times 12? Right? What's 50 times 12? $600. How many of you guys could use an extra $600 at Christmas time to go Christmas shopping? Right? How many of you guys, when Christmas comes around, you're like, man, I would love a couple extra $100. Like, what could I do? Right? Absolutely. So maybe that's what you do is you just keep it in your e-wallet growing. And then in December, you take it out. So that way you can go Christmas shopping. Make a thing, pay for a thing, right? Gold. This is not only are you eliminating your monthly, right? Not only are you eliminating your monthly, but now we're talking about some real money. How many of you guys could cover your house bills? I'm not talking about your rent or your mortgage, right? But how many of you guys could cover your house bills with $1,047 a month? How many of you guys could cover, I'm talking your electric, your gas, your internet, all of those different things. How many of you guys could cover all of those bills with that? Now let's flip it to the other side. Maybe you're the person that wants to save it up in your e-wallet. You're like, nah, Krista, like I've already got it figured out how I'm going to pay those bills right now, right? I'm going to speak to the other people who are working this business before they need the business, right? So now let's say you're going to not take that gold out. You're just going to let it sit in the e-wallet, right? You're just going to let that sit in your e-wallet. So now at the end of the year, you have $12,000. What would you do with $12,000? Let's say in December, you decide you're going to go ahead and pull it all out in December, and now you have $12,000. Right? That's a trip to Germany. Take a trip, right? Vacation. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a vacation fund for you, right? You guys assign these things. One of the things that happened because I was working this thing before I needed this thing was the residual didn't, if I lost my gold or got my gold or was whatever, I was fluctuating and whatnot, I wasn't super pressed sometimes because I didn't really need it. And so once I started assigning the money to something, I realized, oh, well, I have to have $12,000 by the end of the year because I've already assigned that $12,000 to be spent, right? That's going to motivate you to move. Now, gold, I know we didn't talk about this, but to give you guys an idea, gold is 42, but not necessarily. Gold is, I saw somebody put roughly 42 in the chat. Oh, it was Ashley. It's 15 directs and 3 silvers. Now, if you add 15 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, you're going to get 42. Now, who knows, maybe of those 15, you have 10 people building, right? And 3 of them get to silver, but the other ones get to bronze. You're probably going to have more than 42 people. And that's why we say roughly 42, right? Platinum. Now we are not only mitigating our monthly, but would you guys agree that is a full-time income? Would you guys agree that that's a full-time income? Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely, right? Now, you guys don't get to platinum on your own, and that is part of this training. You do not get, listen, you don't even necessarily get to gold by yourself. You can, right? The way the structure is written, you can get to gold by yourself, but platinum, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, all the way to 8 star, you don't get there alone. You can, takes a whole heck of a lot more work, a whole heck of a lot more time, right? But this is now where you are a team. This is when we, right, is greater than me. We all move together. And I told my team this, and I will share it with all of you. I am headed for my 2 star. I know Ashley, she's headed for her 2 star. We both understand that this is an organizational move, right? We as the platinums, we have to get our whole team moving, right? We have to work on them getting to their goals so that way we can hit our goals. This is no longer about oh, I want to hit gold. No, this is I want to see Tucci Gucci over here hitting platinum. I want to see Kim over here hit gold. I want Christina, Christina grows to 2-star. That's going to help Amy, right? Amy Cabrera, she's working on her 3-star, right? This is how that we momentum, right? Tommy Joe's working on her 2-star. I mean, she just hit 1-star. She's working on that 2-star, right? The way that she gets there is by the team, right? I have Perla, right? Perla, she's working on her platinum. The way that she gets to platinum is by working with her agents to get them to hit their goals, right? This isn't a me movement. It's a we movement. And the sooner that everybody understands that, right, we can all kind of move and grow together, right? Mexico, look at Mexico. Mexico is blowing up. How many of you guys would agree that Latin America is blowing up, right? They didn't get there because one person, right? They got there because they understand that team work. They understand that we have to work together. And that is how they have so much momentum. That is how they are moving like they are. They pour into each other. Now, we talk about their 7 ways, 7 ways to make money, right? We're going to recap these. Instant commission. We all should be using Evo Plus, right? We all earn 80% commissions on our travel bookings. When you mentor people, you're going to earn 10% of your direct agent's commission. So if you guys have ever heard people say you can earn 90% commissions booking travel, it's because you get 80% of your bookings, and then you are getting 10% of your direct agent's bookings because you're mentoring them, that you're guiding them, right? That's the payment, right? The Evo bundle that we currently have, option Evo bundle, when you personally sign somebody up and they buy the Evo bundle, you're going to make $50. When a direct sells, so let's say Ashley, Ashley sells a bundle, she's going to make $50. But let's say Gigi, and I don't know if Gigi's direct to her, but let's just say she is. And let's say Gigi sells a bundle. Now Gigi's going to make $50 and Ashley's going to make $30, right? There is lots of money to be made in different places, right? You guys obviously have the residual profit pool as well as the leadership bonuses. And a lot of people, they tend to mash these together. So I have this gold here, but actually a portion of it is the residual profit pool and a portion of it is the gold leadership bonus of $750. So you guys, when you get to these levels, you're getting paid to be a leader, right? It's a leadership bonus. You're getting paid to be a leader. All right. You're up, Ash.
All right, so there are 2 different ways to start with team building, guys. And we talk about this on Beginner Profit Pool a little bit. But the one I'm going to go over is organic. Now, this is, if you guys know Christina Bertels, our amazing fun size, this is how she started. Okay, this is when you genuinely share what you love about being a travel agent. Whether it's the flexibility, the fun, the freedom, whatever it may be, working from home, not having to put your kids in daycare, whatever that is, people naturally become curious when you're posting about that. And organic growth happens from that. Okay. They see the lifestyle, they see the value, they see the excitement. They automatically want to learn more, right? These team members often come already interested and aligned with your mission because they've seen you living it first. Right? So to give you an example, when Christina became a travel agent, she was posting on social media about how she was excited to be working from home, how her son didn't have to go to daycare, how she could work remotely from anywhere, right? Whether that was at home with her son laying on her back, because that's what he did in the beginning, or whether that was, going to a park, letting him run energy out, and she was working from the park. Right? She was just sharing her genuine excitement and passion for this business. and posting about it on social media. That naturally had people curious and reaching out of like, well, what are you doing? How are you working from home or the park? Or how do you work with your son laying across your head, right? Whatever it may be. So that is what the organic is, right? You are just sharing your excitement. So you can share your journey consistently on social media. If any of you follow me on social media, I share about this all the time, right? When we had convention out of Long Beach, I decided, hey, we're going to go to Disney. I'm going to take the kids to Disneyland for a couple of days. I shared about the fact that I was getting to take them. Number one, I didn't have to ask for time off, right? And number two, that I got a free ticket for being a travel agent, right? And it's a tax write off. Like I shared about that stuff. That naturally had people that messaged me and they're like, wait a minute, how did you go to Disney for free? How do I do that? How'd you get a tax write off by taking your kids to Disneyland? Right? I shared about that and it had people wanting to ask questions, wanting to know how they could do that, how they could get involved in that. You can post about your perks, flexibility, and freedom. I will often post about how I can work from anywhere, right? I posted on TikTok the other day and it was like places I've worked because of this business. And I was posting pictures in Thailand and Singapore and Hawaii and Catalina and on a cruise and all these different places, right? That has people that are like, well, wait a minute. If I can work from anywhere, I'd love to work from Thailand, right? Or I'd love to work from the beach in Hawaii. How do I do that? Let people peek behind the scenes. Let them see what you're doing, right? Obviously, you can't show them like pertinent information like our IATA number or, things like that, but let them see what you're doing. I'll take pictures and post it where I'm literally sitting in my bed with my computer on my lap, and I'll take a picture from this angle, right, where you can see my legs and the computer in the bed, and I'll take a picture and be like, didn't feel like getting out of bed today, so I'm just working from here. Let them see that. Let them see behind the scenes of that. Celebrate success. This is yours and your team's. Okay. So if I earn a plaque, right? When I earned my gold plaque or when I earned platinum and 1-star plaque, I posted about that on social media, right? When I got my 100K ring this year, y'all, it is all over my Facebook because I was pumped about that, right? I actually hit it last year, but it was right after convention. So I had to wait a whole year to actually get that hardware, right? But I have it blasted all over social media. That's my success and I'm excited about that. And I need other people to see that that success is real, that we're not a scam, that there are people succeeding. Don't just show yours, show your teams. So I have a $1 million booker on my team. Her name is Denise. When she hit the $1 million booker and we had the flyer made, I posted it on my social media. I shouted her out, right? Y'all don't tell me that people don't use travel agents. We got someone booking over $1 million over here. When Jody's announcement came out the other day for $3 million, I posted it on my social media. Y'all can't tell me that this isn't real, right? I post other people's success as well because sometimes people think, oh, if you're only posting yours, you're the only one having success and I'm not going to have success. They need to see a multitude of people having success, right? They need to see that it works for the masses, not just the one. Use curiosity-driven content. This could be, giving little tidbits without telling the full story that gets people inquisitive, right? Yes, Connie, I did, and I appreciate that. But this is like, it draws that curiosity in without giving them the full story so that they kind of have to ask a question, right? How do I get to work from this beach? And leave it at that, right? And then they're going to be like, well, how do you get to work from that beach, right? How do you do that? That curiosity-driven content, that brings engagement, right? And that gets people asking questions, and then you have those conversations. Incorporate branding into everyday life. You are your brand. You. If you were at convention, I believe it was last year that Amy did it. It could have been the year. No, I think it might have been the year before that. She did a phenomenal training, and the video that went with it was amazing. And it was talking about you are your brand. All these big name companies, right? Keller Williams, the realtors, those are people's last names, right? Any of these big name companies, a lot of them are the last name of the person who started it. Okay, so you are your brand, your name is associated with that. Go out and brand yourself and talk about your brand and be a product of the brand and show people that brand. Okay. You can also build in subtle invitations or make it easy to learn more information. Y'all, I am not going to make it where people have to jump through 17 hoops to get to a presentation or to get the information. Make it easy, right? Some people, they're a single mom who already works, a 9 to 5, and they have 10 kids at home, whatever. They don't have an hour of free time to sit on a presentation. Okay, how can I get the information to you that's going to make it easier? Maybe that's a quick phone call, right? Maybe I need to get out of my comfort zone and I need to get on the phone with them and I need to talk about this business in a shorter version so that they can actually listen and hear it and get the information instead of being like, well, sorry, you can't sit for an hour on a presentation. I guess you're just not going to get it. Right? I have a recording that I send sometimes. Now, is that my go-to? No, because a live presentation is going to be best, or a phone call on the phone with someone is going to be better. But there are some people that are like, listen, I literally don't have time to sit on a presentation. I can't connect with you at a time that works. Maybe we're in completely different time zones and it just doesn't link up, right? I have an Australia agent. It was real hard for us to schedule a presentation or to get on the phone because of the time difference. So for her, I had to send the recording. Hey, watch the recording. Let's follow up after you get done. Right? Use all of those avenues. Make it easy for them to learn more so that you can reach more people. Go ahead.
All right. So she went ahead and we went over organic, right? Those are ways that we are just putting out all of those good vibes. People are always watching. But now we want to flip the coin and we want to be intentional, right? We are now in the mode of I am going to hit gold. I'm going to hit platinum. I am going to die. I've got the grit. I've got the grind. My foot's on the gas. Like now I'm going to do everything I can in order to team build. And I think that's one of the things that I hear commonly. And all I can do is really speak for my team. And sometimes in corporate calls is I have agents that say, but I'm doing everything. And I'm sure Ashley can agree with me. I'm doing everything. And when we really deep dive into it, you're not doing everything, right? And again, that is a mindset, right? That is something that you have to, it's okay to be like, you're right. I know all of us, if you talk to any of the platinums or above, at some point they had a coming to Jesus or a mom talk. Maybe even some of you golds or building up to golds have had mom talks, right? And you guys, these aren't intended to be mean or anything else, but you're not being intentional, right? You're not doing everything. And so now we've talked about the organic, which organic is you build up that consistency of posting all the time. And now you're going to throw in that intentional. Sometimes growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. When you have clear goals and a big vision, you take purposeful action to find the right people who align with your mission. You guys put a 1 in the chat for me. If you are set in stone, feet in the cement, ain't no way it ain't happening, you're going to walk the stage in Hawaii. Put a 1 in the chat. Something that I was taught back in my first convention at the Sahara many, many years ago, Amy Cabrera, our amazing FC and 2-star, gonna be 3-star, right? Something that she told me a long time ago was you never make a promise in this company that you don't intend to keep. Every single one of you just made a promise. And I don't mean that to be scary, but for me, I sat on that stage when I hit gold and I promised the founder that I was walking the next stages as platinum. Every day, I said, I have to work because I made a promise. Every single day, I told myself I had to work towards that because I made a promise. And that in itself was fuel enough, right? So now it's time to be intentional. Intentional team building means you are actively creating opportunities to connect, share, invite others to build something meaningful with you. You're not waiting for people to come to you. You are stepping into leadership and showing them the way. One of the things that I think a lot of people are scared of and talking to people is they're afraid, but what if somebody tells me I'm a scam? Like, Alyssa, I'm just going to say the 4-letter word. How many of you guys are afraid to talk to people because you're afraid somebody is going to call you a scam? Oh, that's not legitimate. Oh, that's you. What did you buy into? Right? How many of you are afraid to talk to people because you're afraid of what they're going to tell you? You guys, that is a mindset shift, right? You believe you know what this company is about. And I don't care what anybody says to me. They can't convince me otherwise because I know what this company is about, right? So now I can start talking to anybody and everybody. I can start connecting, sharing, inviting other people all the time because I know what this company has done for the Ashleys. I know what this has done for the Amy Cabreras, the Sarah Rogers, the Christina Bertels, the Tommy Joes, right? I know what it's done for the Emily Jimenez I know what it's done for all of these people, right? And so now we're going to be intentional. We're going to get it out there. You guys, social media with a strategy, right? Ashley talked about now you're going to be posting organically. You're going to be sharing the wins, the congratulations, the sneak peeks. You're going to be doing all of those things, right? But now what you're going to do is you're going to throw a call to action in there, right? Throw a call to action into your social media. Hey, if you've ever wanted to travel with Perks, hit me up. Let's get you started, right? If now maybe you're looking into, ads, or maybe you're looking into, promoting things. Maybe you're looking at, now I'm going to be more consistent and I'm going to go in and I'm going to talk about this opportunity in groups, right? There's so many different things in social media. You're going to work every single day to grow your TikTok because our amazing double 1-star platinum, Anna Lou in Mexico, she has over 200,000 followers on her TikTok. And guess what? That didn't come overnight, right? She came up with a strategy and she worked towards that. Now she can use TikTok to prospect because she has built that up. So being a little bit more intentional with your social media. Travel parties and info sessions. So travel parties, I mentioned on the cruise. And so for those of you guys that were not there, I have been working for the last couple of months in order to quote unquote perfect the travel party, because I know that a lot of people, they have a hard time inviting people to in-person events. How many of you guys, and you can just write it down on your paper or whatnot, you don't have to make a self acknowledgement to this, but you see these events that we're putting on, the Super Saturdays, the events that Ron's putting on, and they say, hey, invited guests. How many of you guys see that, read past that, and you don't even give it a second thought? You guys, those are intended to be travel parties. Connie, that's what I'm getting at. You guys, I am going to be putting a travel party training on the calendar next month. I have been working with our founder. We're talking about a couple of different things. I'm going to make checklists and all these different things for you guys because I realize that people just don't know how to invite. That's the biggest thing. I don't know how, girl, you and me too, Christina. Right? People don't know how to invite to travel parties. They don't know what to do once they have a travel party. People don't know, they're fill in the blank of the reasons, right? But we were never really taught travel parties in our generation in this company. That is how, for those of you guys that don't know, that is how evolution grew in the beginning, was travel parties, right? So we're going to bring those back. We're going to talk about those, and we are going to get trained. And then info sessions, obviously, a travel party is where you are, it is more a warm and hot market situation. Travel parties is going to be more working with your hot and warm market. Maybe some lukewarm, but for the most part, it's going to be networking. You guys all know that we are network marketers, and what we haven't been doing is network marketing. So we are going to be networking, and that's what this is going to teach you. This third one on here is job boards and gig sites, right? I personally, years ago, we used to be very much on job boards, and we are now moving away from them simply, because job boards just aren't sustainable. They're not around forever. And they, sometimes you get good people like me. I just recently found out that Gigi came from a pretty powerful job board back in the day. Sometimes you get us, but for the most part, a lot of times when you're looking at job boards, they're people that are looking for jobs and not business opportunities, right? Now, LinkedIn is not bad. I'm talking more like the Indeeds and the ZipRecruiters and the Monsters and the things like that. They're just not super sustainable and very hard to get onto, right? And then obviously there are some different gig sites, whether it's Craigslist or LinkedIn or Facebook or social media. Lots of you guys are saying where he came in. I love that. Funnels and booking follow-ups, right? Funnels, if your team doesn't have a funnel, maybe start talking about creating a funnel, right? Lead capturing, things like that. Also, the power of the follow-up. The power of the follow-up. You guys, we have something called Follow-Up Friday. How many of you guys follow up with your past attendees, your past people that went to presentations? How many of you guys are following up with them weekly? How many of you? Only Vanessa? Okay. Yes, weekly. It's called Follow-Up Friday. Follow-Up Friday, every Friday. That is what we do. Every Friday, we reach out to them. No, I haven't, to be honest. You know how many people I have signed up from the follow-up, right? Fridays are when people get paid, right? So I just send out a message. I'm always just staying in their thing. And our angel up above, Nikki, our 5-star Nikki Lee, she used to always tell us, follow up until they block you or you block them, right? Because usually a no is not right now. A block is a for sure no, right? And so you guys, there's power in those follow-ups, absolutely. As well as, now I always say, I don't beg people to get started. I don't beg people to stick around, and I don't beg people to come back. But I do message my past inactives and cancels, because you never know when they might want to come back. I actually have an agent right now, Vernice. She left, wasn't the right time. She now came back and she is killing it because it just wasn't the right time, right? My follow-up got me enrolled. There you go. Following up is huge. So make sure that you guys do that. Make sure you guys listen. If you're not a spreadsheet person like Christina and I, it's okay, but find your own way for you guys to do those follow-ups. There's lots of other different programs, whether it's Project Broadcast or that's the one I use, but there's several other ones out there where you guys can help keep track of those. All right, Miss Ashley.
All right. So just a general overview from beginning to end. Okay. So in the beginning, when you have a prospect, you're going to invite them to the corporate presentation. You can find this calendar in your back office, y'all. It's on the main page. All you have to do is scroll down. Okay. We have some amazing trainers that do these presentations every single week to help you out. so that you don't have to personally go in and talk to people and present to them and do all of that. Like you have top leaders in this company who are doing that for you. Then you're going to enroll them either with the Evo bundle or with the Evo Essentials, right? You can find your link if you don't know where that is when you log into your back office. At the top right, it says enroll an agent. That is your enrollment link. Okay. Then you're going to guide them. Y'all, it's not enough to just get them signed up. It's not enough. We have to have the we mentality, right? We have to have the we movement. You need to guide them in order to keep them. Y'all, we could bring in 50 agents by ourselves in a month, but if you don't retain them, you're just spinning your wheels in the mud. Okay. You have to work on retention, and retention comes from guiding them. In that first 48 hours, they should be doing their certification, the Archer supplier credentials. You should have a one-on-one with them and introduce Evo Plus. In my one-on-ones, I ask multiple questions. What got you excited about this business? Why'd you say yes? Because I need to know, what is it that they're focused on, right? I also ask them, are you wanting to strictly team build, strictly book, or do both? I need to know, what are their intentions? What is their income goal? If they tell me that they need to make 5,000 a month and they just want to book, we're going to have to put some work in, right? Like we're going to have to talk about what that looks like. So I will go into all of those details with my new agents so that I know what their goals are and where they're at. In the first 10 days, they should attend the new agent orientation and new agent basics with Christina Bertels. If your new agents haven't attended that, tell them attend it next week, right? They need to be doing that. It is highly informational. Okay. They need to be registered with the suppliers, join the community. That's the Evolution Enterprises Facebook page. That's if you have a team chat, if you have a team Facebook page, whatever it is, get them connected to other people. Okay. Introduce team building. Talk to them about how they can eliminate their monthly fee. Talk to them about, hey, if you have 6 people that want to join you in this, you don't have to pay that monthly fee out of your own bank account anymore or out of your own pocket. Okay. Show them the steps to success and profit guarantee in the first 30 days. Have them get a business foundation, establish weekly check-ins, and core trainings completed. Y'all, in that first 30 days, getting somebody to save money and make money are the 2 most important things that you can do. If they want to travel somewhere, teach them how to save money, how to use their perks, how to do all of that. They need to make money. Teach them Evo Plus. Teach them how to team build so that they save the monthly fee, right? Get them going. If you can teach people how to save money and teach people how to make money quickly, they will stick around a whole lot longer. Go ahead.
So now you guys have the tools, right? We've given you the tools. We've gone over all of these different things. You know the strategies, but none of that matters without action and alignment, right? That's what we're talking about. You guys have to not just say I'm doing everything, but you actually have to do it. Get that accountability partner. Get into your, I think chats are just so underused. We have so many different team chats or different things. Get in those chats, right? You need to take action and alignment. Let's grow together. Let's win together. Let's build something bigger than ourselves, because when you lock arms and lift together, we is always greater than me. So now what I want to do is, I know that the chat has been blowing up with questions, and obviously we are not going to be able to scroll back that far, but I do want people, there were some great questions in there. So what we can do is we can go ahead and go through the questions, go ahead and put them in there, and we can answer your guys' questions. I know some were kind of answered, they were easier along the way, but you guys feel free, put them in there and we will answer your questions.
I do want to share something while you guys are typing and whatnot.
Sure.
I know, like, I played sports growing up, right? So I am very team oriented. Like, if I'm on a team, I go hard for the team, right? Like, I go hard in the paint. I have told Christina a million times her team is Jet Setting Squad, or JSS for short, right? I tell her all the time, I'm like, I bleed JSS, right? Like that's my team and I go hard for it, right? If you are wanting people to go hard on your team for you and help you hit your goals and them hit their goals, you have to show that behavior first. You have to go hard for the team you're on, for your leadership, right? You have to model that behavior first so that they have that team camaraderie, so that they have that team love, that family love, right? I know I go hard for the team and I turn around and I want my team to go hard for mine, right? I model that behavior first and foremost, though. If Christina needs something, she knows I'm right there, right? She often calls me and Coco her right hand and left hand, right? Because we go hard for the team. We're right there to help her hit her goals. And I can tell you right now, when she hits 2-star, y'all, it's going to feel like I hit it. Like I'm going to be so excited, I might cry, right? Like, and I'm not a crier, but I might cry when she hits it. But that's because I'm invested in that, right? I'm so invested in her succeeding and the team as a whole succeeding that it's like I hit it, right? We're on this road together. That's the type of we over me that we're talking about. Right? So if you feel like your team is not really in and they're not really, working hard to hit their goals and help you hit yours, look at the behavior that you're modeling. Are you going hard for your team, your upline, right? Are you going hard for that team? Are you showing them that team camaraderie? Right? That is going to be huge. Also, with team building, if you are not in it daily, if you are not modeling that behavior of like, hey, I'm going to go hard at this every single day, your team is not going to do that. It starts with you. You have to model the behavior that you're wanting your team to have. If I sat back and I didn't team build and I didn't do anything, that's going to trickle down into my team and they're not going to do anything. Right? I have to continue to push. I have to continue to build. I have to continue to show them and model that behavior that I want to see from them, or they're just going to fall off and they're going to quit and they're going to, not ever hit their goals.
Well,
It starts with me.
and I think the other thing too, and listening to that, the other thing too is friendly competition. Like Ashley is probably one of my top 10 favorite people in the world. But listen, her and I have friendly competition of who's going to hit 2-star first.
Facts.
Doesn't mean that I don't want her to hit it. Doesn't mean she doesn't want me to hit it. But, it's so find somebody who you can have as your accountability partner who's going to keep you accountable and have that friendly competition. Do some friendly competition within your own team. And some people will be like, but my team's only 10. I only have 10 people on my team. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, do some friendly competition. Like, hey, whoever hits, bronze first, I'm going to send you a $10 gift card, whatever the case may be. Create some friendly competition in there.
I know, and then I'm going to ask you these questions that are in the chat. I know at one point, Tommy Joe's team and Christina's team were both going for 1-star and we were about the same amount away. So we created a little inner team rivalry, right? Challenge, whatever you want to say. Y'all, that was amazing. I am highly competitive, y'all, like highly competitive. So you put me in a challenge and we're about to have some blood, sweat, and tears, right? Like, so when she created that challenge, it was like, oh, I'm definitely winning this, right? Like our team is winning if I have to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning every night to make that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But have those little challenges, have those little friendly competitions, right? Not in a way where you're wishing the other person didn't get it. Like Krista said, like, I want her to hit 2-star super bad, right? Like I would never wish that she didn't hit it. But we're going to have this friendly competition of like, okay, who can get there first, right? And let's have that little competition. Let's have a little prize at the end of it, right? Okay, Chris, so one person asked, what is Project Broadcast? Where do you get it and does it cost?
So Project Broadcast, you would literally just Google Project Broadcast. Um, so that, I guess that answers where do you get it. It's just Google Project Broadcast. I want to say it's like projectbroadcast.com, but I could be totally wrong. Yes, it costs money. It's not very expensive. I want to say maybe 20-ish dollars. But what it is it is a texting platform. So very similar to, I think some people use like Reach or those other things. It's just a texting platform. But what I love about it, and I can't speak for anything else, but what I love is that I can give tags to the contacts that I put in there. So like if I want to send a text to all the people, all my follow-ups, I use the tag follow up and I send all of them a text at the same exact time.
Next question. Where do you find most of your new agents? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Shannon, I'm going to tell you everywhere. We find them everywhere. I use all social media. I do post on LinkedIn. But even out and about, right? Like when you're out and about, strike up conversations with people. You never know who is in a spot where they're looking for something different, where they need, extra income, where they wish they could travel more, but they just can't afford it. Everywhere, everyone is a potential agent, but you have to step outside your comfort zone in order to start those conversations. I unfortunately never got to meet Nikki in person. I was on her presentation. She was the one who brought me in, like that presentation brought me in, but I never got to meet her in person, which is incredibly sad for me because I know that she was an amazing person. But one thing that Founder says about her and Tony Ward is that you could not be within 3 feet of them and not hear about this business. Like if you got within 3 feet, within earshot of them, they were talking to you about this business. That's the type of hunger, that's the type of intention that we should all have, right?
Mhm.
Like you're within arm distance and you can hear me talking. We're about to talk about travel and how you can become a travel agent,
And,
right?
and
So
I
everywhere.
and I think part of that too, Shannon, is when I see these things, it sounds like you're about to do a or. And what do I mean by that? Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or LinkedIn. And I think that's a big issue that a lot of agents have had recently is that they are doing ors and you need to do ands. I'm going to do Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn. And it's not hard. Create it in TikTok, it automatically downloads onto your phone. And then I just go share it to Facebook Reels and Instagram stories and highlights and my LinkedIn, whatever. Right?
I don't see any more questions, but Brittany, I see you put, I need to travel more, but can't afford it. Number one, I would say go look at the different vendors that offer discounts. So I don't know where you live, but if you're anywhere close to Florida, go do your Disney training and go get a free ticket. Go do your Universal training, get 50% off. Right? Go do your Marriott training and get fantastic rates and go stay at a fantastic or at a Marriott hotel somewhere for super cheap. I find deals on Marriott Fantastic rates for like 56 bucks all the time for a night. Even if you just go for one night, right? Depending on where you live, if you have a beach close or you have a theme park close or you have whatever, go in your area first until you can afford to go outside of that. Amy Cabrera talked about when she first started, they had no money. She would go on Evo Rewards and she would go look at the different deals that they had on Evo Rewards for Vegas, right? And she was a product of the product in her own city. Nobody had to know that she lived there, right? And that she could go there anytime. She would go out and she would get on Evo Rewards, see what deals they had, and she would go out and she would be a product of the product in her own city. Go do that, right? There should be no excuse for you to not travel when it comes to money. Travel doesn't always mean that you have to go far away. It could be that you are literally still in you're doing a staycation somewhere, right? Um, Do you personally message people from IG, Facebook, etc., or just post and let them message you?
So what I don't do is cold message people. Now, I will engage, right, in posts. So if I see somebody on TikTok who's doing all this travel and they're not an agent that I know of, you know, comment, oh my gosh, like I hope that you earned money and are being able to write this off on your taxes, right? I'm not asking them to go to a meeting, but I'm engaging, and then they're going to come back and be like, wait, how do I do that, right? Then that message, hey, shoot me a message, I'd love to help you, right? So we're not really cold messaging, we are bringing people to us. The other thing too is I try not to have too long of conversations on social media. I want to get their phone number, I want to get their contact information, I want to get it off that social media platform.
Someone asked, and I did answer it in the chat, but when your team ranks up or hits a goal, do you post that on your personal page or business page or both? You can do both if you want, but I post it on my personal page because not as many people follow my business page, right? So not as many people are going to see that. I want to post it on my personal page where I have, tons of friends and over 2K followers and all of that, right? I want the maximum number of people to be able to see that. So I'm going to post it on my personal page. You can also post it on your business page if you want to, but make sure that you're at least doing it on your personal one.
That and business page, I always tell people your business page is social validation that your business is legit. Like, I mean, unless you're like our killer booker Audrey Plunkett, right? Like she's got a Facebook business page that's astronomical, right? But my business page on Facebook, Travel by like that's just for social validation. I don't ever post there. I post everything on my personal page.
All right. I don't see any more questions in there, so I think we're good.
I like that when I finish a specialty training, I talk about with pictures. Um, I will say also, a lot of times people they photo dump. When you go on vacation, you guys, I go on if like any trip I take, I don't photo dump. And it always kills me when I see people and they dump like 30 photos in one post. You guys, that's like 15 posts. Like take your content and stretch it out, right? Like and use ChatGPT. And if you don't know how to use ChatGPT, our FC and 3-star platinum Emily Jimenez, like she is doing a corporate training on AI, how to use that with your business. You guys post 1 or 2 photos. Make that content stretch because something else that's very ironic is I've had somebody come up to me who said, through social media, an acquaintance and said, Krista, I want to be a travel agent because you're always on vacation. Well, they think I'm always on vacation because I'm using my content constantly throughout the year. But if that gets me a new agent, I'm all for it. Yep. I don't get much traffic anywhere lately. What am I doing? I don't get much traffic anywhere lately. What am I doing wrong? You're just not posting in the right places and you're not asking engaging things, right? You need to continue. That's where consistency follows in, right? You need to be posting in places. You need to be attracting people to follow. Are you inviting people to follow your personal page? And then you have to stay consistent and relevant on your page in order for the algorithm to kick it up.
Okay, last thing, and then we'll let you guys go because we're running a little over. One thing that I did to help me with social media content, like for TikTok and Instagram and all of that, I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me content ideas for becoming a network marketer in the travel industry for TikTok. Y'all gave me a whole list of things. Not only did it give me like the title, right, or the subject of it, it even gave me prompts. It gave me what kind of pictures to use, what kind of music to use. Like it gave me all of that. Use ChatGPT. Yes. Use ChatGPT in order to get those content ideas so that you're not sitting there like, well, I don't really know what to post today, so I guess I just won't post, right? I Magnolia, I said, give me content ideas for TikTok for bringing people in As a travel agent in a network marketing company. That's all I said. Like I told it what I wanted. I wanted content that encouraged people to become travel agents with us. And it gave me all kinds of different content ideas. Use that as your inspiration or whatever, right? Give you ideas so that you can go out and make those videos and get those posts done and be posting everywhere. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us today. I am truly blessed to be able to do this training again. At convention, it was awesome to be able to share the stage with my girl over here. And I will just say we only had 25 minutes there and it felt very rushed. For those of you that were there, and this, like, we were able to not have a time frame, right? To be able to pour into you guys more, answer questions, give you more information. So I hope that it was truly helpful for you. Like Krista said, if you make a promise to yourself or your leadership or founder, go make sure that you do not break that promise, right? I know everybody's on a high. Everybody's like, yeah, I want to walk the stage next year. But it's the people who are holding themselves accountable on the daily basis who are going to hit that goal. It's the people who don't have excuses, right? It's the people who are putting this at the forefront of their mind, of their daily habits, that are getting to those goals. At the end of the day, April 30th comes, right? And you didn't hit your goal. The only person to blame is you, right? It's not your upline's fault. It's not your platinum's fault. It's not anybody else's fault, because you have the tools and resources here to hit those goals. It's in your daily habits. It's in your discipline, because motivation is fleeting, y'all. You need discipline. Work on being disciplined day in and day out to hit that goal, instead of, going off of, oh, well, today I'm really motivated, so I'm going to get a lot done. But then the next 2 days I'm not motivated, so I'm just going to coast, right? You have to have the discipline that says, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the work even when I don't want to, right? And I hope that we see all of you walking the stage next year. That would be amazing. And we will celebrate all of you. But it's going to take you in your daily routine, staying consistent, staying disciplined, and doing the hard work, right? All right, guys. Krista, you want to say anything else?
I think we're good. You guys stay. I think the big thing for me, the big takeaway or closing thing here is stay connected. So many people after convention, they are, like she said, they're motivated, but they need to build the discipline. You guys lean into those chats. I know Giselle said, man, I can't wait till I hit gold because I want to fall into leadership's arms like I did when I hit FC. You guys plug into those, plug in, stay consistent in those chats. You guys, I know that sometimes the chats seem like they're just ding, ding, dinging and they're annoying sometimes, but you guys let that ding be your accountability. Let that group blowing up tell you, like, what am I missing? That's how I feel every time we get a message on our phone, because I have disciplined myself to be so plugged in that I can't miss anything. Get involved, get in those chats, ask the question. Hey, I haven't had anybody invited to a meeting in 5 days. What am I doing wrong? What's everybody else doing? For whatever reason, people don't like to ask those questions. So that's my last thing for you guys. Just like Ashley said, you have to build that discipline beyond the motivation and lean into your teams, lean into the chats, lean into the Facebook groups, lean into the trainings and all of those things. Bye, guys.